Okay, we're back and we're just going to look at these. Let's try, these are just word problems that have to do with adding or subtracting fractions. So we're just going to read through two of them, do them together. We're going to talk about equations, and then I'm going to have you do two more. Okay? So this one says Joanne is baking cookies. She needs 1/3 cup of sugar for chocolate chip cookies and 1/4 cup of sugar for lemon cookies. How much sugar does she need to make both cookies? So by reading this, how it says, how much sugar does she need to make both cookies? That tells me that I'm going to have to put those together. So my equation is going to be 1/3 plus 1/4. And one common mistake is people forget to put equals, and you can either put the answer, or you can put a variable, or you can even put a question mark. So I'm going to put a C, or I'm going to put an S for sugar. So you can just put a variable, a question mark, or the answer. But you need to have, when you write out an equation, you need to have it complete with add-ins and then an equal sign and an answer or a variable or a question mark. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do 1/3 cup of sugar plus 1/4 cup of sugar. I see that. I'm going to multiply 3 times 4. And I know 4 times 3 equals 12. So 1 times 3 equals 3. I know 3 times 4 equals 12. So 1 times is 4. I'm going to go ahead and add them up. 4 plus 3 is 7. So this is going to run into my equation. 7/12. I cannot reduce it. So my solution is 7/12. And I'm going to say cup or cups. You can put cup of sugar, either way. Okay, so there is our answer for that one. We're going to do one more. And this says that Frank is baking pies. He buys 2 2/3 pounds of cherries and 3.5 pounds of peaches. How many more pounds of peaches did he buy? So when I see how many more pounds of peaches did he buy, I know he bought, peaches was the biggest amount. And I can see that the 3 is bigger than the 2 with the whole numbers. So I'm going to put that first. So I'm going to do 3 1/2 first. And I'm subtracting 2 2/3. And I notice my denominators are different, and I have whole numbers here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change them into improper fractions. So 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. And then I'm going to change one more time because they have different denominators. I'm going to change this to 6. So 2 times 3 is this. So 7 times 3 is 21. And 3 times 2 is 6. So 8 times 2 is 16. And now I can go ahead and I can subtract. Okay? I can also do 3 minus 2 and then change these fractions, but sometimes you have to borrow, so it's easier just to turn them into improper fractions, find a common denominator, and then just subtract. It just makes it easier, okay? And we're going to go ahead and we're going to write our equation out, which is 3 1/2 minus 2 2/3. And I'm going to just make that equal to P for peaches. Okay? So my solution is 21 minus 16, and it's going to be over 6. So I might have to borrow. So if I did 1 minus 6, I'm going to have to borrow over here. This is going to become 5, and the difference between 21 and 16 is 5/6. Then I don't have to change anything else. That's going to be my final solutions, 5/6 pounds or pounds of peaches. Okay? All right, go ahead and see if you can figure this one out. Margot is making trail mix. She uses 4 1/8 cups of raisins and 2 3/4 cups of M&Ms. How many more cups of raisins did she use than M&Ms? So go back and look at these two problems and see what you did when you found the how many more. And then the last one here is Amber buys 1/2 pound of ham and 2/5 pounds of turkey for sandwiches. How many pounds of meat did she buy in all? What? How about in all? Okay? Don't forget when you write your equations to include your equation, an equal sign, and a variable or question mark. Okay? And then I'll come around and check these two. When you're finished, you're going to go ahead and go on to your drive and do your fraction review.